It is a major scoop that we've been talking about for years and years and years. And it turns out it's absolutely true. Take a look at this from Blog Mickey. It says Disney World reportedly recently scrapped plans to build hotels inside the Magic Kingdom theme park. And we've been talking about this, and I'll tell you what it's about. Give me just 1 second. Let's go back in time to the most recent point where we talked about this, the last time we heard that it was happening, and that was 8 months ago, right here on That Park Place. Folks, did you ever doubt that the scoops you're being given are true? Well, doubt no more. This is the video. You can go watch it. Exclusive. WDW Pro reveals new Magic Kingdom ultra luxury hotel may be in development right now. 8 months ago, and what are we finding out, folks? Oh, and look on the video. Look at what we're looking at. Do you see what I see? Look at Blog Mickey.
Yeah.
Blog Mickey, come on, give us some cred, man. Give us some cred. We need some cred. No, we're fine. We're fine. So apparently, the thing we were telling you that they were doing 8 months ago has been scrapped. Oh, wait. No, I've got an update on that. All right, folks, you are looking at right here in this image the development of Villains Land and the Cars ride. Cars will be right here in the middle of between all of Liberty Square and Big Thunder. And then Villains Land is going to curve over by the Haunted Mansion area and over just behind the building for Haunted Mansion. And It's a Small World. And all this area that's over by the road, that's going to be used for cast parking, we believe, along with this new parking lot and building that's for Imagineers. And then there's this empty area that they use for dirt. And then they've got a new retaining pond they put over there. This is going to matter. I'll explain why. It says a new report from Florida Politics says that Disney recently scrapped plans for 1 or 2 hotels that would be connected to Magic Kingdom theme park. The report cites an Imagineer connected to master planning in a 2024 deposition connected to the feud between Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Disney. Or you could just say, pro said so. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, folks. I'm just telling you, I mean, we do this for a living. We do this. According to the report, longtime master planning executive Imagineer Todd Reimer revealed plans for 1 or 2 hotels that would be connected to Magic Kingdom. The deposition was conducted in early 2024. And he said that plans at the time were still under development, but they include new attractions and redevelopment of existing attractions and potentially new hotels. He said that there were 1 or 2 hotel locations that would have been within the same area that were expanding at Magic Kingdom. In the deposition, he confirmed that the hotels would be new, but said that there are no specific locations decided yet. He was referencing the northwest corner of Magic Kingdom. And no, I'm actually going to change that. Hang on. The report says that Disney has responded saying that, quote, there are no plans for new hotels as part of the Magic Kingdom expansion. We're focused on bringing to life all we've already announced. Okay. And then it says, presumably, that means that plans were axed during the development stage. Folks, what if I told you, and I don't believe that's true, and you have to parse out what Disney is saying? Let's read here. Read again the Disney quote. There are no plans for new hotels as part of the Magic Kingdom expansion. Well, true if we're talking about the expansion you announced. Untrue if you have more expansion plans down the road. Untrue in the fact that, or in the way of, hey, they may have more to talk about, and I think they do. What are we talking about, folks? Well, give me just a second. I'll pull up Google Earth and show you. But before we do so, MJ, your thoughts on the fact that we've been saying this for so long, and turns out was the secret, ultra confidential, do not tell stuff straight from the hallowed halls of the mouse, and we knew all about it. How about that? What do you think about it, MJ? And
it's not surprising. It, when they saw the plans that were being done down the road, 20 minutes down the road, Helios is like a beautiful hotel and smack inside the theme park. And that is just skyrocketing through the roof. And I'm not sure what year those plans were and permits were turned in. Culture, you might know, but I'm sure Disney started shaking in their boots when they saw those plans and permits, and they were like, well, maybe we should do that for the most visited theme park in the whole world, Magic Kingdom. So it wouldn't surprise me if they had plans to put a hotel, not just a hotel, like a 5-star resort, because that's what Magic Kingdom would need. It can't just be like a regular. We have the monorail loop resorts, but having one in the Magic Kingdom, I don't see why they wouldn't want to do it. I think maybe they will, and I don't know. Anything can happen with a flip of a switch with these guys, given all that area there. Because what are they going to do after they're done developing Villains Land with those offices and things like that in the back where the parking lot is, where the dirt is? So who knows? But Culture, do you remember what year that Helios filed their record showing that they were going to have a resort inside of the theme park over at Epic?
Wow, 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
You'd have to ask Vash, but I think I'm right. I think about 3. It might have been 4 years ago. You remember early planning? We got a lot of solid information from Universal. They were not shy about sharing it because they knew, unlike Disney, who eventually had to find this out the hard way, that their plans are going to be leaked regardless. Because anytime they file for building permits, we're going to know everything they're doing. Disney never had that problem. They used to control that entire environment. Then they decided to play politics in Florida, a state with which they are very adversarial relationship. They took away their own district. Reedy Creek became nothing more but something else. And now everybody can see what Disney has planned.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine a resort in the middle of Magic? I can't fathom that, but yeah.
Let me show you what the plan, I believe, was and why I think it still lives. And we see Vash out there. Hey, Vash, you've got the link now. Sorry about the mix-up. Here we go, folks. There's the image on a blog making. I've tried to position the next image so that we'll be looking for the exact same angle, okay? But again, just to refresh you, down here is Cars Land. Over here is Villains Land. Over here is going to be maintenance area on the east side. And then up here is going to be parking and all that. What you need to notice, okay, so that we can show you the perspective, is on the far west side, you can see the little areas from the Temple and Jungle Cruise sticking up, and you can see the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction building, show building over here. And then there's all these trees over here, okay? Pay attention to this. We're going to switch it over to Google Earth right now. Let's find our place again, okay? We've got the castle down here like where we were. We've got the temple over here. And if we zoom in, here's the Pirates building, the Pirates show building, okay? Now, things have changed with how much they've developed, but remember the trees we talked about, remember? Okay, so here's what we had heard, and here's why I think the fact that this is not happening in this expansion doesn't preclude or exude that it's going to be not in the next. So here's what we've got. This area right here is a major expansion pad for Adventureland, and down the road, they can send a path alongside Pirates of the Caribbean. They'll have to do some theming, and then they can send guests under the railroad and into a new area that could be themed around Jungle Book or Lilo and Stitch or any number of things if they want to do so. And the idea that we had heard was that they were going to build a pedestrian bridge that could go over the canal where they currently store the parade floats, but they could, and by that I mean the electric parade out on the water, but they could connect along with an attraction, with a huge attraction. I mean, you've got an area here that's bigger than Space Mountain, bigger than Big Thunder, so you can put a huge attraction, but then you can also put a VIP entrance with a pedestrian bridge over the canal right over here in this area where a hotel could go. Where would that hotel be? Well, it would be just north of the Grand Floridian, which could also give you access to the Grand Floridian to use the monorail or to use bus. You could actually combine the buses for Grand Floridian and this hotel, but it would be one heck of a hotel with maybe 100, 150, 200 rooms, not large, but mega, ultra, super luxury.
Yes.
And that was the plan, we believe, and I believe that plan still exists. So that's where we are. We've got somebody joining us right now who would, I think, like to share his thoughts on it. Please welcome to the stage, folks, the man, the myth, the legend, Vash Sky is here. Vash.
Hello there.
Oh,
hello,
wow,
hello.
we're all blue.
Yes, we're all blue.
Nice.
We're all
matching.
All right, Vash, your thoughts on this? We've talked about this for a long time. You were in that original video where we're talking about this scoop we had, and this was a very long-running scoop. Your thoughts now, Vash, to hear that, yeah, according to the master planner at Disney World, this was and may still be what they're planning to do. They're trying to hide it now, but I think they might still go for it. What say you?
Yeah, by the all the credit to UPro, obviously, for having this scoop, but also Florida Politics for doing the hard lead work and getting this information for us. Apparently, they were looking into records pertaining to all kinds of stuff. This was one of the things that they found. So good on them. I think this is, I mean, it makes obvious sense when you look at the revenue potential of, you know, just the existing resorts as they are centered around Seven Seas Lagoon right there, right? So you have the Contemporary, you have the Polynesian, you have the Grand Flow, and those are unbelievable revenue drivers because they're on that monorail loop. Even Wilderness Lodge doesn't benefit quite as much as those, having been not on the loop. So directly connected, again, this is going back to like Westcott, for example, where it was live the dream. You could live, you know, within proximity of a theme park, wake up, and you can go out and enjoy your day at said theme park. We've seen this with Disneyland Paris, and also too at Disney California Adventure with, you know, the Grand Californian Hotel out there. Extremely popular, extremely successful. It just makes really good sense, logical sense. And so when we look at the permit filings for Villains Land and Cars Land and all those other things, we do spot a couple of places in which they could eventually maybe build hotels. And I had to think that that's part of the plan, right? If you're expanding capacity at Magic Kingdom, it only makes sense that you expand revenue potential as well. And Disney really likes to, you know, when they do these big expansions, capitalize on the revenue as much as possible. Originally with California Adventure, when it had its redo in 2012, originally they were going to have a fleet of hotels along with that in order to capture some of that revenue potential out there. It would make sense that the same thing applies to the flagship, which is Magic Kingdom.
Absolutely. And you can see here, they can tuck this away where it's not well seen. It would be sort of this mysterious kind of a hotel where the ultra elite get to go. And you know, folks, you know the value. Imagine the value if you've got extra magic hours in the morning, in the evening,
Exactly.
and you have a super secret entrance through an expansion at Adventureland. You have a super secret entrance akin to like a Club 33 kind of thing, where you're at the best hotel ever. It can't be huge because if it is, there'll be no reason to go to Grand Floridian. So this would be for the whales of whales of whales. This would be for the celebrities. This would be for the VIPs. And they could charge insane amounts of money for you to just walk out of the park and into the hotel.
I think it's a good idea if they, like you said, something small, obviously really upscale. And I can't help but picture the one over at Tokyo Disney Sea. I believe there is a beautiful hotel. It's not so much a resort. It's just a hotel where it has limited amount of rooms, and you walk outside of that hotel and you're like in the park. And I just remembered that. Is that Tokyo Disney Sea or am I losing it? I can't remember.
It is Disney. Yeah. Tokyo Disney has a huge hotel that's on the border of Disney Sea at the entrance. Yes.
Okay, so it is. It's gorgeous, and the theming is bar none. Go ahead, Culture. Forgive me.
Culture, as you weigh in, also, if you could go, I guess I'd like to hear your thoughts on the idea that Disney continues to chase the ultra elite.
Well, but they have been. They have been, including both at Disneyland and Disney World. They've been looking for that 5-star hotel, right, Vash? I mean, they were. Think about the 5-star hotel that was going to be part of the expansion, into the parking lot and the space that was the Disneyland hotel area. So they've been looking to do this for a very long time and kind of tucking it out of the way from the hoi polloi and giving them their own direct access to the parks. And as you suggested before, at Disneyland, it'd be really easy to do through, the Splash Mountain corridor that was Critter Country that's now a dilapidated mess of disaster. I mean, it would lead you directly into what was Critter Country and towards the Star Wars area in Disneyland. The same thing is true here at this park because they've recently expanded the walkway, so you can now do a complete walk around with a movable bridge there at Disney World. And you could definitely bury a hotel in about 4 different spots there, which would include the backside of Villains Land and everything else. Look, it's not like the road system doesn't exist. It does. You would be able to actually double down on secure areas by, like, when you bring people in through. You can bring people to this new 5-star via the Grand Floridian. They have to go through that checkpoint, and they would have to go through a separate checkpoint. And they could get a 5-diamond experience at a hotel that was limited in capacity intentionally, but offered every single premium luxury and be attached to their other luxury offering that's really a 4-star hotel at the Grand Floridian. So I think this works. In fact, I would consider every hotel on the lagoon to be a 4-star. with the exception of the wilderness stuff, but that's not directly attached. It's only by waterway. But yeah, go ahead.
Wrap up that thought real quick, Culture.
Oh no, I think they've been trying to do this for a long time, and they've tried to develop some more wilderness area in nature in various ways. What was it, that one called Reflections that Joe Rody was in the process of putting together before they decided he was no longer useful, and a few other things that were coming out for DVC offerings. I'm just saying, if you talk to people like my parents and other people in that category, they are looking for the premium of premium experiences. So,
Vash, real quick, in terms of this expansion pad at Adventureland, which they have not announced anything that they're doing with it yet. And so we would imagine, I've called this before, this is 7, 10, 15 years, the speed that Disney builds things. I would think, though, they want to go rather quickly with this. Have we heard anything about what they might expand with in Adventureland? Would that be... Do you think that's a Lilo and Stitch expansion they would want to go with, or do you think that's Moana? Like, what would they do if they put an expansion that goes past Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, the conversation before was surrounding mainly Moana and doing like a coaster there, or revision of maybe like a volcano coaster that we've heard a couple of concepts for in this particular area of Adventureland that you have on screen right now a few years ago. But I would think that Lilo and Stitch might be at the top of that list as well, given its tremendous success that it's had in the recent live-action reboot. Obviously, they're coming out with number 2, so that's an ongoing franchise for them. So you can really go a couple of different ways here. I would suspect that if these expansions like Cars Land and Villains Land are successful, that we might actually see more on the Adventureland front. But there are multiple places in which you can actually build hotels, right? And incorporate those designs into whatever you're building, whether it be Villains Land, Cars Land, something for Moana, something for Adventureland, what have you. And I just got to think that they would want to capitalize on the revenue as quickly as possible, like many of you have pointed out right here. But I guess we just got to wait and see.
Well, that's a good point. And if anybody's wondering, where would the other option be for hotel? It's this area across from the retaining pond that you can connect with the north side of Magic Kingdom. That's a possibility. I'm starting to think it's less likely now, because I don't sense that Villains Land is going to be as exciting as I think people had hoped for. And if Villains Land is the draw, then I don't think you can draw people to a Villains Hotel. So I'm less.
Listen, this all sounds amazing with the whole, concept of having a hotel in the park, but I got to get this off of my chest because I'm burning inside. Like, before they start doing any other expansions of any lands, can you please maintenance, refurbish, touch up paint, look at the ride vehicles of the existing lands in this beautiful, well-beloved theme park that we all hold dear to our hearts? And if they're listening, Tomorrowland is in rough shape. There's so much that needs to be done. Cars Land, Pissed Off Peak Land, and Villains Land, and all this other nonsense that we're doing. Focus on what we already have. Make the experience enjoyable. People are paying a lot of hard-earned money to walk into this theme park, to see it in such rough conditions. Yeah, the bathrooms are getting refurbished little by little, but holy moly, let's focus on what's already in place and touch it up a little bit. My goodness.
MJ, what you fail to understand, unfortunately, and it is this simply: these are all necessary downgrades. Yeah. So your expectations are too high. The Disney is no longer the parks and resorts of excellence. They are no longer in competition with Universal down the street, or even any other offering now. Everything, unfortunately, is not going the right direction, from maintenance, as you suggested, to even paint schemes. And I hate to be so harsh, and of course that was a little tongue in cheek, but I think, I think looking forward, we don't have creatives in place that'll make things like a loop on the backside of New Fantasyland work to incorporate a hotel, which is a no-brainer to me, because then you could have people, looking at the castle from the other side, and you'd have a Castle View Park in the park, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of like Grand Californian is literally in DCA for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, that you won't have, and this was something brilliant that they did originally with Epcot, a backdoor entrance, the International Gateway.
Yeah.
Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, and all these other places don't have that. They have a plaza area as central entry point, but DCA is the only one that has a back door. Disneyland proper does not, and they should. It's the same situation at Magic Kingdom and many of these other locations. They do not exploit opportunities like that. Instead, they offer unnecessary, distraction. And you're right. They have no rights. They have no right to expand more hotel spaces and premium experiences if they can't take care of the things they have now and improve upon them. Tell me the last time you saw a plussing up of an attraction.
Thank you, Culture. You're absolutely right. Yeah, my expectations, they need to be lowered.
Hey, don't lower those expectations. Hold them to fix things for the vacation nation.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.